If you're trying to decide whether the Aputure multi-light shaping kit for the INFINIBAR series is worth the investment, you're not alone. Who is this actually good for? Who should skip it? And is it worth the price for normal, everyday buyers? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I first saw the kit advertised, the headline promise was simple: a honest-stop solution to mount, shape, and stabilize any of Aputure's INFINIBAR pixel bars. That sounds perfect for a small crew that wants to move quickly between interviews, product demos, or cinematic scenes without buying a bunch of separate brackets and adapters. But the real question is whether the kit lives up to that convenience when you actually have it in your hands, and whether the price aligns with the value you'll get in a typical production workflow. I've spent the last couple of weeks testing the kit in 3 very different environments: a cramped home studio for YouTube tutorials, a medium-sized conference hall for live streaming panels, and a short narrative shoot in a warehouse. In each case, the goal was the same: attach a PB6 or PB12 bar, shape the light with a diffuser or grid, and keep everything stable enough that I could walk around without the bar wobbling or the connectors loosening. First, the compatibility claim. The kit is laser-focused on the INFINIBAR line, specifically the PB3, PB6, and PB12. If you already own any of those, you'll find the mounting plates line up perfectly with the bar's built-in slots. The flat connector snaps in with a satisfying click, and the 3D connectors triangle, square, hexagonal give you the flexibility to angle the bar for side lighting, top lighting, or even a low-angle accent. In my home studio, where space is limited and the ceiling height forces me to keep the lights low, the triangle connector let me tilt the bar just enough to avoid spill on the background without needing a separate gimbal. That kind of adjustability saved me a few minutes of rigging each time I switched a scene. The next practical strength is durability. The kit is built from a high-grade alloy that feels heavier than a typical plastic bracket, but that weight translates into less flex when you're moving the bar around. On the conference hall set, I mounted a PB12 on a rolling light stand, added a softbox, and the whole assembly sat steady even when a tech assistant nudged the stand to adjust a microphone boom. The connectors held firm. I didn't hear any squeak or feel any give that would make me worry about a sudden drop. For crews that travel a lot, that robustness can mean fewer broken parts and less time hunting down replacements. Now, the weaknesses. The biggest trade-off I noticed is the size of the kit itself. Because it includes flat and 3 different 3D connectors, plus a handful of mounting plates, the box is about the size of a small suitcase. Packing it into a flight case with other gear adds a noticeable bulk. If you're a solo creator who only needs a single bar for occasional product shots, you might find the extra connectors unnecessary. In my narrative warehouse shoot, I only used the square connector to achieve a clean side light. The triangle and hex connectors never saw action, yet they still added weight to the bag I was lugging around. Another point to consider is price relative to the actual pieces you'll use. The kit is positioned as a complete solution, which is accurate. You get everything required to mount, shape, and secure the bar without buying add-ons. However, if you already have a few generic brackets from previous projects, the kit's specific connectors may feel redundant. The value comes from the precision fit and the ability to switch between shapes quickly, not from the raw number of parts. For a studio that already owns a mixed bag of mounting hardware, the incremental benefit may not justify the cost. So who should buy it? If you are a small to medium production team that regularly swaps INFINIBAR lights between tight indoor locations, a live stream setup with changing angles, or a narrative shoot where you need to reposition lights quickly, the kit is a time saver. The easy-click connectors reduce the setup time to under 2 minutes per light, and the solid construction means you can trust the rig to hold up under repeated moves. It also makes sense for educators or workshop leaders who need to demonstrate lighting setups on the fly. The kit's visual clarity: each connector is a different shape, and color helps novices understand why you might choose one angle over another. On the other hand, skip it if you're a hobbyist who only uses a single INFINIBAR bar for static shots, or if you already own a collection of universal brackets that work well enough for your needs. In those scenarios, the kit's comprehensive nature becomes excess baggage, both literally and financially. You could achieve the same lighting results by buying a single mounting plate and a couple of generic adapters for a fraction of the price. A subtle but worthwhile detail is how the kit integrates with accessories. Because the flat connector is designed to sit flush with the